So good morning, students. So the topic for today is subject verb concord. So subject and verb, they are always there in a sentence. Subject is a noun or pronoun that tells us what the sentence talks about. So subject, as you always know, that it's a doer. Okay, it's a subject is something about whom we talk in the sentence, and the verb represents the action in the sentence. So verb, you all know, it tells like what action is going on, and it also tells the state of being, or it also tells the state of mind also. For example, when I say she is a doctor, so here is what kind of verb? Something which tells the state of being, right? He is a teacher. He is what? A teacher. So is over here is a telling like what he is. It tells his state of being, right? We are ready to do the work. We are what? Ready to do the work. So it tells the state of being. So verb is another kind of verb is something which shows the position. For example, I say I have a book. Here have shows possession. She has got my book with her. She has. Here has also shows her possession, the possession which is there with her. So has, have, had are the possessive verbs. Is, am, are, or was, were are the verbs which show the state of action, state of being. Okay, and the third kinds of verbs are there uh, which show the state of action which is in progress. Okay, or action which is over, or which is in progress, or which is over. For example, she is doing her work. She has planned to go there. So here, so verbs actually do three kinds of things. One verb shows the state of being. For example, he is a doctor. Second, which shows the verb. For example, he has a book. And third one, for example, which shows that she is solving her sums. So that shows the work which is in progress. She has solved the sums. It shows that she has been through this process of work, right? So whatever the verb is, maybe the state of being, or maybe possessive, or maybe the one which shows the action in progress, or which shows simply the action. Whatever verb I'm saying, it should agree in number and person with the subject. That is the point. So whatever the kind of verb, it should agree with the subject. Okay, and the subject may be of different varieties. Okay, when I say both of the children are in the room, both of the children are in the room, that is like this. But if I say either of the children, then it will be either of the children is. So there is a variety of subject. Okay, when I say both of the children, here both is the main subject. But when I say either of the children, it means I'm talking about one out of two children. So the verb will agree with either. Got it? So there are many more such examples. Okay, for example, in your exams, there was one example. Uh, uh, Time and tide waits for none. And many of you got confused with wait. And time and tide waits for none. Basically, I guess you people were also right from your side. So time and tide, you people might have thought like there are two things. You considered time as one thing and tide as another thing. You know? So you wrote the rule like a plural is there. So you used wait. Considering the subject to be plural, you use the subject verb which would go with plural like wait. But actually, time and tide refers to one concept. What that concept is? Time and tide means like time, basically time. Okay, tide is also synonymous with time. So basically, the concept was like time goes on and on. Time doesn't stop. Okay, time never stops for anyone, time never waits for anyone. It's not that if I am getting late, then time will because I'm favorite of time, then time will stop. Okay, he will say, okay, you are late, so let me stop. Let me wait for you. It will never happen. So time has got no favorites. Okay, neither any king nor any beggar. So time is same for all. Time and tide, these two words are only synonymous with time. So time and tide waits for none. Okay, we had done this kind of example as bread and butter is my favorite breakfast. Bread and butter are not two different items. Bread and butter is taken as one course of meal, right? So similarly, that time you people were giving me so many examples. You know? Dhavnesh was telling Rajma rice is. So it's not Rajma and rice are. Rajma and rice is. So point is like when two subjects seem to be, when there are two subjects, but actually they refer to one concept, then we use the singular verb. So there are so many other examples. Many a times children get confused with the usage of verb in an expression like, one of my friends has gone to America or have gone to America. One of my friends dash gone to America. So when I say one of my friends, you think like I am talking about friends. No? So you see friends, you the moment you listen to friends, yes, Avnesh and Khushi, correct. So these are my favorite students with grammar, those who give quick answers. Very good. So what I was talking about, yes. Yes, many more children are very good in grammar. Kritika has given correct answer. Nana. Nana, you say have? Hmm? So let's discuss first, then Nana will, Nana, then you review your answer. When I say one of my friends dash to America. So here, how many people have gone to America? Friends have gone to America or one person has gone to America? One of my friends dash to America. So here I want to say like I have got so many friends, but one has gone to America. So here the main subject is one friend has gone to America. One out of many. Maybe one out of two. Maybe one out of five. I don't that is not clear. But one has gone to America. One of my friends has. So this is the one of the another common mistakes committed by many people. Okay. So one is accompanied by a singular verb. One out of maybe hundreds, one out of two, whatever, but we use singular verb with one. So there are many more such examples where children often get confused, like whether we should use a singular verb or plural verb, right? And another very confusing verb, very confusing statements are there more. For example, uh, either of the two books dash my requirement. Either of the two books dash my requirement. So what will you say? Either of the two books dash my requirement. Yes, Prabhnoor, Divita, Dhavnesh is correct. So Khushi, yes. Arshin is right. Prabhun is yes. So either of the two books is my requirement right now. So either of the two books. Don't write the subject using two books because the subject is starting with either. Either means anyone. Either also means anyone. Either of the two books is my favorite. Okay, or is my requirement right now. Got it? So there, let's see. There are hundreds of such different cases. Okay, I'm talking about just one case. So let's see them in details. Like there are subject verb agreements. And when we know these subject verb agreements, when we know those rules, that many that many of ours English would become quite accurate, quite good one. So the first and foremost rule to speak correct language is that we should know the rules. Okay. So here is rule number 1. Rule number 1. The verb and subject must agree in number. For example, he plays football, they play football. So what's the difference? He is singular and they are plural. So with singular verb, we use V1 plus S or ES. So this is the simplest rule of present indefinite tense. So when there is a present indefinite tense, then as per the present indefinite tense, with he, she, it, or with any singular noun, we use first form of verb plus S or ES. You can note it down. You've been doing it since your childhood. Okay. Since your second standard, you've been doing this rule, but still many times we get confused. Never mind. So once again, you can write on the rule. With he, she, it. He, she, it are the third person pronouns. So here, let us again revise. What is first person pronoun? Can you tell me what are the first person pronouns? What are the first person pronouns? Yes, I, Khushi, yes. I, we, us, right. So the one who talks or the people who are talking. Yes, Prabhu Narshin, yes, yes, we. So I and we, these two are first person pronouns. Parth beta, football is first person. Is Parth a real one over here or somebody else? Okay, Parth, I'll call your parents later on. I'll ask you later on with your parents, like whether football is a first person pronoun or not. So I was talking about like the first person pronouns. The first person pronouns are the people who talk. I am talking right now, so I am first person. The speaker is first person. Simply, if you can, for you people to learn it, like the first person people are the ones who talk. Okay, those who talk, they are first person. I am first, and we all are first person people. We are all first person, right? Why? Because we people are all talking right now. Okay, so first persons are I, we, right? And with I and we, what do we use? Singular form of verb. With I and we, what do you use? Yes, Parth beta, you want to say something? Okay. So I and we, with I and we use singular verb, right? And then with second person pronouns, what are the second person pronouns? Yes, Khushi, the person whom we are talking to, you. You is a second person. Very good. Arshin, yes. You, yours. Garimaji, yes, go you. Yes, Devita. Okay. So what I was saying, first person is the one who talks. I, we are first person. Second person is to whom we are talking. If I'm talking to you people, then you are second person. I am first, you are second person. Okay, if we are all talking, then I and we are first person. If we are all talking to you, then you are second person. Then who is the third person? Yes, Arshin, he, she, it, they. Chayank also is there now. The person about whom we are talking. Yes. Yes, Devita Garima, yes. So what I was saying, now let's see the sequence. First person is the one who talks. Second person is with whom we talk. Third person is about whom we talk. So third person doesn't happen to be here. Okay. About third person, we can do the backbiting, right? So first person, I am the first person. You are the second person. And he is a third person. He, because he's not here. So anyone who is not here is third person. So first is a speaker, second is a listener, third is a one about whom we are talking or about whom we talk. Okay, so this is about the persons. But now let us talk about like what's the rule regarding persons. In present indefinite tense with first person pronouns, we use first form of verb plus s or es. For example, sorry, with first person pronouns with I and we use only first person, first form of verb. For example, I play, I write a poem, I speak loudly, I try to do my work in time. So the point is with I, only first form of verb. I try, I write, I laugh, I cry, I speak, I sing, right? Or we, I can also take the examples of we. We all do grammar. We all do. I don't say like we all does grammar. We all do grammar. We all uh, behave honestly. We all behave honestly, right? So with I and we, only base form of verb, that is present form of verb, no s or es with it when we are talking about present indefinite tense. And second person pronoun is you, and with the you the same formula is there. You speak honestly, you behave honestly, you do your work in time. So with the you also we use only base form of verb. And third rule is, third person pronoun is he, she, it, or he, she, it, or they. So in third person, we have got two kinds of pronouns. One is he, she, it, and another is the plural of he or she, that is they. With singulars, he, she, it, we use base form of verb plus s or es. The rule is only different here. With they, the same rule is there. With they or with plural nouns, we use, yes, what do we use? With plural nouns, that is they, or with Ram and Sham. They go to park or they goes to park. Parth will tell me. They go to park or they goes to park. What is correct? Parth. Parth, unmute yourself. Yes, Harshdeep, Divita, Harshin.
Ma'am, yes, ma'am, they go to park.
Yes, they go to park. Yes, children, you are all right. Those who are sending the message. So they go to park because they is a plural subject, and with a plural subject, and though it is third person, with the third person plural subject, we use only V1. That is only base form of verb. That is only the present form of verb. But with he, she, it, or any other singular noun or subject, we use base form of verb plus s or es. For example, she goes to school. He laughs at him. It rains. Okay, so it wags its tail. It, maybe I'm talking about the dog. It wags its tail. Okay. Okay. So here we were talking about, here we have actually revised the tense, present indefinite tense. So present indefinite tense is the most important tense because it is here only the children commit the mistakes. Okay, for example, when you people were doing the mistake of time and tide, wait for none or waits for none, there the answer was waits, because time and tide is singular concept. It refers to one concept, right? So here the basic is written, basic rule. This is all what we have just now talked about. Okay, first person, second person, third person. So I walk, we walk, you walk, he, she, it walks, they walk. So this you all know now. So second rule, the number of the subject. What's the number of the subject? Maybe singular or plural. The number of the subject will not change due to words or phrases in between the subject and the verb. Due to the words or phrases in between the subject and the verb. For example, one of the glasses is empty. So just now we have done this rule. So you don't have to see the glasses here. You have to see the one. So one of the glasses dash empty. So here what is to be understood? Like how many glasses are empty? One glass is empty or glasses are empty? So the writer wants to say like one glass is empty. So one of the glasses means like out of many glasses or out of two glasses, one glass is empty. So is actually is according to one. Got it? Here, since the subject is one, the verb should be is. Yes, Khushi. Ma'am, do we use it for a baby whose gender is not? Yes. Khushi, we can use it for the neutral nouns also. Okay, neutral nouns, something for which the noun gender is not clear. Right? One of the glass is empty. Okay. The bouquet of red roses smells so sweet. Khushi, yes, many. We use he or she even for inanimate objects also, and usually we use it with the nouns which are neutral in nature. Okay, with animals and all we use it, but nowadays the modern grammarians, they even use it. They don't use it with the animals. They say like animals are very much living, why to use it with them? So but otherwise traditionally, and it will not be wrong to say that if we use it with a dog or with any animal, it will not be wrong. But the modern grammarians, they are of the opinion that we can use he or she with the animals also. Got it? Yes, there are some more examples. For example, if we talk about our school, if we talk about our nation, then also we can use the pronouns like he or she. But otherwise, we say like I study in SSTPS. It's one of the premier institutes of education. So we can use it with the name of the school, but we can use she also with the name of the school, or he also with the name of the school. Okay. I live in India, and she's one of the most sacred places in the world. So she for India, that also can be used, right? So the number of the subject will not change due to the words or phrases in between the subject and the verb. So one of the glasses, the bouquet of red roses smells. So where children will get confused, they will look at roses. They will say like, ma'am, roses के साथ smell आएगा. The here the subject is bouquet smells sweet. It's the bouquet which smells sweet. It's just not the red roses which are smelling sweet. The bouquet is a singular over here. There is one bouquet of 100 roses. Okay, so bouquet smells sweet. The bouquet of red roses smells sweet. But if the subject is the bouquets of red and white roses, then bouquets smell, right? Here, since subject, bouquet is the subject and not roses, the verb should be smells and not smell. Okay, rule number 3. Subjects that are joined by and in, subjects that are joined by and in a sentence use a plural verb. Very important rule. Subjects that are joined by either or neither or nor use a singular verb. Children, you can note down this rule. Don't just keep on taking the screenshots, because no one later on opens up the screenshots. Those screenshots get deleted from your gallery later on. So always note down the important points. Pen and paper are your best friends. Okay, screenshots, they leave you, but what you write down, note down, that remains with you forever. So what's the rule over here? So rule is like, if you join a subject with and, then you have to use a plural verb. But the subjects which are joined by either or neither nor, they take singular verb. It's a very important rule. Radha and Meera are coming home, right? Parth and Keshav are writing in the notebook, right? Neither Nana nor Arshin are speaking anything right now. Is that okay? Neither Nana nor Arshin are speaking anything right now. Am I right? Yes, no, I'm wrong. Yes, yes. Kritika ji, Kritika, raise your hand. Yes, yes. Yes, Ankita. Kritika, you raise hand. Kritika, raise hand. Okay, now you speak the answer. What should be the correct answer? Kritika, speak up. Unmute yourself.
Yes, good morning, ma'am.
Yeah, good morning.
Neither Nana nor Arshin is speaking right now.
Yes, that is correct. So neither Nana nor Arshin is speaking anything right now. It's okay. So Khushi, yes, neither Nana nor Arshin is, yes. Who is this with R? Ravneet, yes. R will change into is. Yes, Ravneet, beta, correct. Okay, so my dad or my mom is arriving today. My dad or my mom. So this sentence is not looking very decent one. Can anyone tell me this sentence, how to write this sentence correctly? Okay, it's not that whatever these people write down, that is always correct. Yes, those who raised hand, one is Arshin and one is Kritika. Yes, Arshin?
Ma'am, the sentence should be my dad and my mom are arriving today.
But that person says only one person is coming. The speaker's one, maybe father is coming or mom is coming. So what? Yes, Khushi, unmute yourself.
Ma'am, either my dad or my mom is arriving today.
Yeah, either my dad or my mom is arriving today. So that would be better. So, yes, Khushi?
Same answer.
Yeah.
Either my dad or my mom is arriving today.
Yes, either my mom or my dad is arriving today. So that's correct. Okay, so is this rule clear with either or, neither nor, singular verb? Remember, make it a thumb rule that with either or, neither nor, you have to use singular verb. So wherever either or neither comes, even then singular. Okay. Now rule number 4. The verb in a sentence containing or, either, this we have done. No, we have not done this. So the verb in a sentence containing or, either or, neither nor, agrees with the noun or pronoun closest to it. So now in a verb, there will be neither nor or either or whatever. But person says that the verb will agree with the noun or pronoun closest to it. For example, the example is neither the shoes nor the bag matches the dress. So here the verb is, there is one noun bag and the verb is match. And here the verb will match with the bag or with the shoes. Here the verb will match with the bag because bag and match, they are put together. Here bag is closest to verb. Here matches. So matches. So had the writer written neither the bag nor the shoes, then what would have been the answer? Neither the bag nor the shoes. Match or matches a dress? Match, Arshin. Yes, Dhavnesh, Nana. Right. Yes, match is the correct answer. So if the verb had been, if the plural word is with verb, then the verb should be accordingly. The point you have to remember that the verb will be in accordance with the noun closest to it. In what kind of sentence? Where there are either or, neither nor kinds of sentences. In the either or, neither nor kinds of sentences, the verb will be used with the noun nearest to it, right? What was the rule number 3? Does anyone remember what was the rule number 3? Or see this? Even I have forgotten what was the rule number 3. So you people see rule number 3 again. So it was that subjects that are joined by and in a sentence, they use plural verb. So that we won't forget. Many, that is a little bit common rule, that wherever there is and, we use plural verb. For example, Ram and Sham are going to market. This is the commonest rule. But where happens to be the confusion? Subjects that are joined by either or, neither nor use a singular verb. There the confusion comes up. Neither Ram nor Sham is coming. So when there are neither nor, either or, we are to use singular verb. That is a rule to be remembered. No one will ever forget, like if there is and, then we have to use the verb plural. No one will ever forget it, I guess. But yes, though that also you know, but still you must remember it. With either or, neither nor, singular verb comes. Okay. So rule number 4, clear? In a sentence containing either or, neither nor, the verb will agree with the nearest noun or pronoun. You can keep this example in mind. Neither the shoes nor the bag matches the dress. Neither the next example we have done. Now rule number 5. When the subject is followed by words such as well as, along with, besides, not, etc., ignore them and use a singular verb if the subject is singular. So this is a very, very good rule again. If the subject is followed by as well as, along with, besides, not, etc., then use the singular verb if the subject is singular. For example, Matt, as well as his dog, is expected shortly. What's the meaning of is expected shortly? Means they are coming right now. So Matt is expected shortly. Like meaning is Matt is coming very soon. Okay, Matt के साथ कौन आ रहा है? That is a different issue. Matt as well as his dog. Matt as well as his dogs. कुछ भी कह लो आप. Okay, Matt as well as his parents is expected shortly. Prateek along with his brother is going to school. Prateek along with his brother, Prateek along with his parents, Prateek along with his friends, kuch bhi aa raha hai. Prateek is going to school is the answer. Actually, you can keep this in mind, like when we say something like this, like Prateek along with his family and friends and relatives is coming to my house. So when I use the expression along with, that you can just feel as if we are keeping this expression in the bracket. Okay, this can be overlooked. Point is not like who is coming with him. The main thing is like Prateek is coming. So this is again a very, very good example. Very good important rule, because you can use these things in parenthesis, that is in bracket. Okay, if I delete the word along from here, then Prateek with his brother can come in parenthesis, that is in bracket. Got it? But if I'm not using the bracket, then I'll have to use the word along. Prateek along with his brother. But the main thing is Prateek is coming to school. Now the rule number 6 is, in sentences that begin with here, there, the true subject usually follows the verb. Children, yes, so remember one thing, on Monday there will be a test of English. Your test today is Monday, I guess. Am I right? Am I right? Is your test today Monday? Okay. So on Monday, test will be of the poem which we finished yesterday only, Ball, Ball poem, and the subject verb agreement, right? The test may be in Google form, the test may be in PDF form, whatever you prepare, Okay, you prepare it in both ways, in one word answers, in 100-word answers, whatever. So prepare that test. Subject verb agreement will not be only from these rules which I'm talking about. You may open up your own book which has been prescribed for you, the one which you had in 9th standard also. Okay, same book. You can open up the same book and you can go through more rules from the same book. Okay, and on Monday the test will be of the topics subject verb agreement and ball poem.